Welcome back to the Millionaire Rabbi channel, where we unlock the financial wisdom of ancient Jewish teachings and show you how to build real generational wealth. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we release videos every single week that reveal the money secrets that banks do not want you to know. My name is Rabbi David, and I have spent the last 15 years studying the intersection of Jewish wisdom and modern wealth creation. I have taught thousands of people how to apply Talmudic principles to their financial lives, and today I want to share something truly remarkable with you. A system so powerful that it can take $500 per month and transform it into $1 million. Now, this system is taught in depth inside the Torah Millionaire Business School at billionaireRabbi.com/school. In Phase 3 of the program, we walk through the exact mechanics of this wealth-building system step by step. The link is in the comments and in the description below. This is not theory. This is a proven pathway that has worked for business owners, doctors, teachers, and people from every profession. So let me break down how this system actually works. First, let me address something that bothers me deeply. Most financial advisors tell you to save money and let compound interest do the work. That is partially true, but it is only half the story. The banks know the full story, and they keep it hidden from you because your financial freedom costs them money. Here is what they do not want you to understand. Compound interest is not the main tool for building $1 million portfolio from modest monthly contributions. The real tool is called Talmudic asset allocation, and it is revolutionary. Let me explain what I mean. The Talmud, which is the foundation of Jewish law and wisdom, contains principles about wealth that date back over 2,000 years. One of these principles is found in the teachings about how to properly distribute resources. The Talmud teaches that you should never put all your eggs in one basket, and more importantly, that the way you allocate your resources determines your long-term outcome more than the amount you contribute. Here is the practical application. Imagine you have $500 to invest each month. Most people think the question is simple. What asset should I buy? But that is the wrong question. The right question is, how should I divide this $500 across different types of assets and income streams? This is where the Jewish wealth system becomes powerful. The system works like this. You take your $500 monthly contribution and you divide it into 4 parts. The first part, which is 40%, goes into what we call foundational assets. These are boring, predictable investments. This might include index funds, dividend-paying stocks, or bonds. With $200 per month going into foundational assets, you are building a stable base. The second part, 30%, goes into what we call velocity assets. These are investments that move faster. Real estate investment trusts, small business equity, or peer-to-peer lending would fall into this category. This gives your money a chance to compound faster than the stock market alone. The third part, 20%, goes into what we call knowledge assets. This might surprise you, but in the Torah Millionaire Business School, we teach that the money you invest in learning and skill development is actually your highest return investment. This could be courses, mentorship, books, or workshops that help you develop business skills or professional expertise. The reason this works is because better skills lead to higher income, and higher income compounds faster than any asset in the market. The fourth part, the remaining 10%, goes into what we call opportunity assets. These are reserved capital that allows you to capitalize on unexpected opportunities. When most people do not have this reserve, they miss the moments that matter. This reserve lets you move quickly when you find a better investment or when a business opportunity presents itself. Now, let me show you the mathematics of this system over time. In the Torah Millionaire Business School, specifically in Phase 2, we walk through the detailed calculations, but let me give you the headlines here. If you invest $500 per month using this allocation system, here is what happens over 20 years. Your foundational assets grow at approximately 7% annually. That is conservative but realistic for a diversified portfolio. Your velocity assets grow at approximately 12% annually. Your knowledge investments compound through higher income, typically creating 5 to 15% additional returns over time. And your opportunity assets occasionally transform into much larger investments. After 5 years with this system, your portfolio reaches approximately $35,000. This is where people usually get discouraged. They think, I have been investing for 5 years and I only have $35,000. This is the critical moment where the Jewish wealth system separates from conventional thinking. Here is where the Talmudic principle kicks in. The power is not just in the $500 you contribute each month. The power is in what your portfolio generates and how you reinvest those earnings. This concept is foundational to what we teach in Phase 1 of the Torah Millionaire Business School. Most people miss this because they focus only on contributions, not earnings. Your $35,000 portfolio is now generating income. Your foundational assets are paying dividends. Your velocity assets are producing returns. Your knowledge assets have translated into higher income, which means you can increase your monthly contribution. Some of your opportunity assets may have paid off significantly. Now here is the key. You reinvest all of this. By year 10, your portfolio has grown to approximately $120,000. But here is what is crucial. You are now contributing more than $500 per month because your income has grown. This is the compounding effect that banks do not want you to understand. They want you to think about compound interest on contributions alone. But the real wealth acceleration comes from increasing your contributions over time as your skills improve and your income grows. In the Torah Millionaire Business School, Phase 3 shows you exactly how to systematically increase your contributions as your business grows or your income advances. This is not theory. This is the difference between someone who reaches $100,000 by year 10 and someone who reaches $250,000 by year 10. By year 15, the system really begins to accelerate. Your portfolio is now approaching $450,000. You are contributing more each month. Your returns are reinvesting. Your knowledge assets have continued to improve your income. Your opportunity assets have compounded. And here is the moment that shifts everything. Your portfolio is now generating more annual income than you are contributing from your salary. This is what we call the wealth inflection point in the Torah Millionaire Business School. This is when your money starts making more money than you do. For most people, this never happens. They work their entire life and never reach this moment. But with the system we teach, it happens around year 15. Once you hit the wealth inflection point, the final 5 years become explosive. Your portfolio goes from $450,000 to $1 million. The mathematics are simple but powerful. When your investments are earning more than you are contributing and you are reinvesting those earnings, the growth accelerates exponentially. Now, let me address the skeptics. You might be thinking, Rabbi David, this seems too simple. If this works, why does not everyone do it? The answer is psychological, not mathematical. Most people cannot commit to $500 per month for 15 years. Life happens. Emergencies occur. People get distracted. The stock market crashes and people panic. A business opportunity seems more important than disciplined investing. This is exactly why the Torah Millionaire Business School exists. Phase 1 of the program teaches the psychology of wealth. We help you understand why most people fail and, more importantly, how to become the type of person who does not fail. We teach you the mindset of the long-term investor, the discipline of the wealth builder, and the wisdom of the patient accumulator. But here is something else that most people miss. The $500 per month does not have to come from your job. In Phase 2 of the Torah Millionaire Business School, we teach multiple income streams. What if instead of $500 from your salary, you earned $500 from a side business? What if you had $100 from your job, $200 from a small online business, $100 from freelance work, and $100 from selling something you made? When your $500 comes from multiple sources, you are not vulnerable to job loss. You are not stressed if one income stream slows down. You have diversified your income just like you have diversified your investments. This is a Talmudic principle called spreading your risk. The Talmud teaches that a person with multiple income sources is wealthier and more secure than a person with one income source, even if the total is the same. Let me tell you something else that the banks really do not want you to know. The power of this system compounds even more powerfully if you start when you are young. If you start this system at 25 years old, by the time you reach 40 years old, you are already at $1 million. By 60, you have $15 million. The younger you start, the more powerful the compounding becomes. This is why in the Torah Millionaire Business School, we focus heavily on getting young people to understand these principles. If you have children or grandchildren, teaching them this system early is perhaps the greatest gift you can give them. Imagine a child who learns this at 18 and commits to $500 per month. By age 38, they are already a millionaire. By 60, they have generational wealth. Now, let me break down what happens in each phase of the Torah Millionaire Business School so you understand the full picture of how this system is implemented. Phase 1 is called the foundation. In this phase, you learn the psychological and spiritual principles of wealth. You learn why money flows to certain people and not others. You learn the Talmudic teachings on wealth. You learn how to think like a wealthy person before you become one. This is crucial because if you do not fix your mindset, you will earn money and lose it or make poor decisions with it. Phase 1 rebuilds your thinking. Phase 2 is called the income builders. This is where you learn how to create multiple income streams. You learn how to start a side business. You learn how to monetize your skills. You learn how to create passive income. This is where $500 per month becomes achievable for more people because you are not depending on a single job. You are creating income from multiple sources. Phase 3 is called the asset allocators. This is where you learn exactly how to allocate your money using the Talmudic asset allocation system we discussed. This is where you learn the percentages, the timeline, the mathematics, and the psychology. You learn how to rebalance your portfolio. You learn when to shift allocations. You learn how opportunity assets can accelerate your timeline dramatically. This is where the $500 per month becomes $1 million. Each phase builds on the previous one. If you skip phase 1, you might have money but lose it. If you skip phase 2, you might be stuck at $500 per month and unable to increase your contributions. If you skip phase 3, you might have income, but invest it poorly. The system works because all 3 phases work together. Let me give you a real example of how this works in practice. There is a woman named Miriam who came to the Torah Millionaire Business School 3 years ago. She was making $50,000 per year working as a teacher. Her take-home was approximately $35,000 per year. She felt like she would never build wealth because she did not have a high income. In phase 1, she shifted her mindset. She realized that her income was not too low to build wealth, rather, she was not investing properly. In phase 2, she started a small tutoring business on weekends. Within 6 months, she was earning an extra $5,000 per year from tutoring. She was now able to invest $500 per month instead of $300 per month. In phase 3, she allocated her $500 using the system. She put $200 into index funds, $150 into an emerging online education business that was seeking investors, $100 into courses that helped her improve her tutoring skills, and $50 into her opportunity fund. Within 3 years, she has already accumulated $65,000 in assets, and more importantly, her tutoring income has grown to $8,000 per year because of the skills she learned in her education courses. Miriam is exactly on the trajectory we described. In 12 more years, assuming she continues this discipline, she will have $1 million. And because her tutoring income is likely to continue growing, her timeline might be even faster. She went from thinking she could never build wealth to being on a clear path to millionaire status. Here is the truth that banks do not want you to know. They make money when you borrow money, not when you invest it. They profit from your debt, not from your wealth, so they have no incentive to teach you this system. In fact, they have every incentive to keep you confused about how wealth is actually built. The Torah Millionaire Business School exists to counteract this. We teach what banks will not teach you. Let me talk about one more critical component, the tax efficiency of this system. When you are using the Talmudic asset allocation system, you are naturally creating tax-advantaged opportunities. Your foundational assets should include retirement accounts. Your velocity assets should include tax-advantaged vehicles. Your knowledge assets are often tax-deductible. Your opportunity assets should be structured to minimize taxes. This is taught in detail in Phase 3 of the Torah Millionaire Business School. Most people pay more in taxes than they need to because they do not understand how to structure their investments. Here is a concrete example. If you are paying federal and state taxes on investment income, you might lose 30% to 40% of your gains to taxes. But if you use tax-advantaged accounts and strategies, you can reduce this to 10% or less. Over 20 years, this difference compounds to hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why professional investors and wealthy people are not actually smarter than you. They just know information that you do not. The Torah Millionaire Business School gives you that information. Let me also address something important. What about inflation? Someone always asks, Rabbi David, does not inflation eat into these returns? The answer is yes and no. Yes, inflation eats into the purchasing power of money, but here is what happens in this system. Your foundational assets include dividend-paying stocks and bonds that typically outpace inflation by 2 to 3% annually. Your velocity assets typically outpace inflation by 5 to 7%. Your knowledge assets actually create income that grows faster than inflation because you are improving your skills. So in real terms, your wealth is still growing significantly even after accounting for inflation. In the Torah Millionaire Business School, we teach you to think in terms of real return, not nominal return. Real return is what your money actually does after inflation. This is a crucial distinction that most financial advisors miss. They focus on nominal returns, which sounds good but does not tell you the real story of what your money is doing. Now, let me give you a challenge. Starting this week, commit to putting away $500. It does not have to be all at once. It could be $100 this week, another $100 next week, and so on. Just commit to putting together $500 using the Talmudic asset allocation system. Allocate it according to the percentages we discussed: 40% foundational, 30% velocity, 20% knowledge, and 10% opportunity. After 30 days of doing this, come back and watch this video again. Pay attention to how the mathematics make sense to you. Pay attention to how the psychology of the system becomes clearer. And then, if you are serious about building $1 million from $500 per month, join us in the Torah Millionaire Business School. The link is in the comments and in the description below. The investment in the school will pay for itself many times over because of the knowledge assets you will gain. You will learn things that will directly increase your income or decrease your losses. You will understand the exact implementation of this system. You will have access to community members who are on the same journey. You will have the accountability structure that makes the difference between knowing this system and actually building wealth with it. One final thought. The Jewish people have survived for thousands of years through persecution, diaspora, and countless challenges. We have survived because of three things: our faith, our commitment to learning, and our wisdom about building wealth. This wealth wisdom is not meant to be hoarded by a small group of wealthy rabbis or business owners. It is meant to be shared. It is meant to be taught. It is meant to empower everyone. When you commit to this system, you are not just building personal wealth. You are fulfilling a Jewish principle called tikkun olam, which means repairing the world. When you have wealth, you can give to others. You can support causes you believe in. You can help your family. You can build businesses that create jobs. You can mentor younger people. The goal is not wealth for its own sake. The goal is the freedom and capacity that wealth provides. Thank you for watching this video. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Share this video with someone you care about, and most importantly, take action. Do not just watch. Do. Put away $500 this month. Join the Torah Millionaire Business School at billionairerabbi.com/school. Learn Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. Become the person who builds $1 million from $500 per month. The Jewish wealth system works. Banks do not want you to know it, but I am telling you, now it is your choice to act on it. Shalom.